Hello everyone, we're back for a golden shot tutorial here. This is going to be for the Namhae Cliffs hole that goes over the canyon. And you'll also see that there is the Gokasho Bay for the medium hole. If you ever want to know where the that video resides, because I do have that one from several times. If I was to go to help, if I was to go to additional resources, I don't think I can really find the other tutorials here. I'm gonna have to go in through the guided search. So Guided Shot has a search just for golden shot, and when I do this, I can pull up the full list, and you'll see Gokasho Bay down there, hole 3. And here's another one of hole 3 right here. So it's been multiple times that I've done that shot. So a couple different ways that I do it, and you're free to look. Pretty much revolves around pretty much max backspin and just trying to, play with the wind effect. If you'd like to see those shots, you can go in through either one of those. But what we're gonna focus on is this Cliffs hole. There's something, artificial about the way that this plays. I don't know if it has to do with the way that the hole is kind of sitting on, right over that cliff. But especially anytime that you start to aim down into the cliff, that definitely changes things as well. You'll see that my ring adjustment needs to have something artificial in place. I'm using, right around maybe plus 25-ish%. It's very significant. Other than that, you'll want to avoid, there's specific places on the fairway that you don't want to land, because the biggest change that they've made in the last update, if you guys remember the big update that they put in, and people maybe were having trouble with this hole, it's more about where they're landing on the fairway. You have to pick the flat spots. There's kind of two ways to do it. You're going to be in between clubs to do the short end of where they change the fairway. If I was to zoom in on this, I can kind of show you a little bit what I'm mentioning. They made changes to this hole right around this part of the fairway, which is kind of like the top half. But if you were to keep your guide short of it or on the long half of it, it's going to make the shot play a lot easier. So you're going to see that's how I'm going to play this hole, is I'm going to try to set up on the top half. I'm going to use about plus 25% on my adjustment. And other than that, I'll just use the slider positioning. You'll see that we're really pretty close to min club on the wood, but you'll need to do, a substantial amount of overplay because of whatever is artificially in place that makes this hole, really play differently than pretty much any other course in the game. There's just a couple cliff shots where you shoot over the cliff that just makes the, the wind intensify. So let's take a look here. First thing that I do want to say is, okay, so here you can see, there's the min line. You can see we're very close to it. I wanted to talk, you can see how I'm putting kind of towards the top of the shadow. I'm also going to maybe play off some spin over here towards the side. I like to come in with some side spin because it seems to be able to, there's a ridge right in front of the hole here. And if you're able to spin it the way that I am, you have a better chance that you're able to miss it if you can bring it in from the left or the right. So you'll see that I'm going to try to put just a little bit of an angle on this. This is telling me right around 4 rings. I'm also going to maybe just curl it just a little to kind of aid my wind effect. And didn't need that last little bit of curl, but you can see the ring adjustment looks pretty good. And the speed looks pretty good as well. As I mentioned, there's a ridge kind of that runs straight in front of the hole, especially when you're coming in from that direction and the ball is kind of coming at it at a different angle. If you land to the right of the hole, for example, and the momentum is kind of going right to left, you're just going to kind of typically roll back down the hill to the right. So what I'm trying to do is avoid coming straight in on the hole to kind of get it on the good side of that hill to where it doesn't always just shoot down towards the right. Because my ball was going to shoot much less down towards the right if I had, the perfect alignment towards the straight of the hole, because the left side doesn't fall off quite as bad as the right side does. So do keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and keep doing this one. You'll see this is going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to really require perfect ball, so you guys hopefully are having a good day with your perfect ball timing, because that's going to be a critical part. So you'll see somewhere down here, maybe around 4 rings. Now, the one thing that we'll have to keep in mind is moving to the lower ground is going to change things. So you do need to be a little bit careful about that. Get somewhere around here, and as I said, you want to make sure that you stay up on the higher ground. Don't really push into that cliff. If you end up pushing into that cliff, it's really going to change the dynamic of the way the shot plays out. I was just talking about how bad great balls are going to be, and you should see that I'm going to shoot way over here towards the right. So you really do need to be, and you can kind of see that crest that I'm talking about there. It's kind of a mound that really pushes the ball off. It really pushes it off to the right. On the left side, it only kind of gradually pulls down. But you can see, how critical your perfect ball is going to be. So hopefully I can get that timing in check, because I basically, I just took away a ring that I was going to, I was going to take a ring off. And, with the way that I just shot, how poorly I just shot that, essentially just cost myself that shot. So here you can see with what I'm doing with the ball guide, 4.2-ish rings. Again, try to keep it up on this cliff if you can. It's really going to cause your ball to land short if you move to too much lower ground. So moving into the canyon is really going to affect where your ball lands. And there you can see that fall off that I was talking about. So that's why I like to come in at the angle, because it doesn't fall off so bad on the left. So if I do create that angle and I'm able to get this online, it's not going to fall off as much, and it's more prone to stay in the range. That's why you want to bring it in with that left to right spin that I'm doing, where I'm aiming to the right, to the left, and then I'm using the right spin to get it back. So right around here with my alignment, you can see it's slightly offset. Right around 3 rings here. Oh, geez. So if I was to get high up on the slope, it would be okay. You can see with perfect ball, I've really taken myself out of about 2 shots. So I'm just not having a very good, a good first half of this. Hopefully I can get that perfect ball timing going. As you can see, it's going to be a critical factor for your success. You're not going to be able to leave this one, with the great ball. It's really going to really make your life a lot harder. You're going to have to be a lot better about it. So here you can see I'm aiming kind of inside just to kind of play some wind effect here. And again, this is going to be pushing down into the canyon. So I'm almost going to just be really careful not to put it too low. And did get the perfect. So let's see how this plays out. There you can see I get it up into that inside ring. So it really just comes down to that perfect ball. And keeping between 3 and 4 backspin, you'll just kind of, end as much as max. You'll have to do max on any tailwind, which I haven't had yet. But thankfully, I was able to sneak in and get that that ring there. And, you know, hopefully with a perfect ball, I should be able to easily at least get the red ring and hopefully be able to get the hole-in-one with the last shot as well. Now, I forgot to set my slider, but you can see, you know, maybe about 3.7 by looking at things here. And again, we're going to try to use that spin just to kind of create just a little bit better of an angle to where I'm coming in and, you know, missing that fall off is kind of the goal. Perfect ball. There's a good chance that I'm going to be able to get this last ring. Almost had the hole-in-one as well. But there you can see, with the perfects, I'm going to really give myself a good chance at being able to clear this out. You know, I may have already given up an ace with just by missing the perfect, because I would have had probably 2 drive-bys like that on the 2 great balls. So, you know, I might have kind of played myself out of the hole-in-one, but hopefully you guys are able to get it. I'm going to take this last shot. Hopefully I can get it. It's going to just require, you know, kind of the perfect shot. So 4.5 rings plus some ball guide offset. This one I can pretty much kind of back off of the spin just a little bit in terms of the side spin, because it's already kind of coming in at a nice angle. So you'll see that I'm just kind of using my ball guide offset more so than anything. And 4.2-ish rings, somewhere right in here maybe. Of course. So another great ball. The big key here is just going to be hitting your perfects. As you can see, I'm just a little bit off. It would have given, and you can see that fall off there if you're looking at it. Really falls off to the right. You want to create that, you know, just to summarize for you guys, you want to create that little bit better angle coming in from the left, so it does stay up on the flat side. You never want to intentionally come in from the right, because it's going to kind of resist going up the hill. If you can kind of keep it away from that cliff edge, it's going to make things a lot more reliable. Other than that, you know, make sure that you're using the plus 25-ish, plus 30%, somewhere in that amount, because of the fact that, you know, there's just something about the way that the cliff holes, specifically anytime that you're aiming out over a cliff, only on, you know, the cliff's course do we see this, but there's something artificial in place on these holes that you just want to be a little bit careful of. Again, you know, when I touch on that point, keep in mind, when I pull down into the cliff, it's going to cause the ball to land shorter. So again, this is something artificially that's in place, you know, that doesn't really correspond to like real physics. If I pull the target down into that cliff on those headwind cases and put it to lower ground, it causes the ball to automatically land short. It's already not going to land to the bullseye target. Think of it as it's landing kind of at the, you know, 90% marker and kind of at the higher elevation. So since the shot isn't complete, it's landing much more up on the higher arc. So since it's landing up on a higher arc, it's kind of changing, you know, it's landing kind of at the 90% line, kind of, wherever that height kind of meets the cliff. That's the height that it essentially lands at. So you'll see that it almost always lands about a ring short. And the lower you move into that cliff, the more trouble that you're going to have. So try to avoid landing too low into that cliff, because if you move that target down into the cliff, there's a good chance that you may have it land so short that you don't even get over the cliff. Other than that, good luck. It's going to come down to perfect ball timing. You can see I missed perfect ball 3 times. It was 3 chances that I had at that hole-in-one that I would have been able to, you know, hopefully with this strategy, be able to easily clear this one. But again, it's just really going to come down to perfect ball timing. So good luck with this one, guys, and take care. See you guys on the next one.